Hello everyone, this is Mangala and today I'm going to give a brief introduction about SAP MM and these are the topics that I'm going to discuss. What is an ERP? What is the evolution of ERP? How does ERP integrate different business functions? And what is a typical order to pay cycle? So what is an ERP? Generally, in an organization, we have different departments. Like we have human resources department, we have marketing department, and we have supply chain department, etc. etc. In earlier days, every department they have their own ERP, and these ERPs were integrated for the data to flow, like the data from all the customer orders or the marketing departments should be flown to the purchasing department or the supply chain department, etc. Now that was a very tedious process and it requires a lot of configuration issues and lot of manual effort and all of that. So there was an invention from then called ERP. In ERP, there is no need for you to manually integrate all the data between different departments. So in a typical ERP, all the different functional areas are part of certain things called a module, you can say. Each module represent each functional areas and they are already integrated with each other. So that is the beauty of ERP. Like I said, it allows the information to be shared among different functional areas. And there is a language by which SAP is developed called ABAP. There is no need for you to learn ABAP if you are a SAP functional consultant, but it doesn't take much effort if you want to learn ABAP in my experience. Sometimes it's good to have a bit of knowledge on ABAP workbench, how do you develop programs and screens and etc. So I would just give a small example of how data is been flowing between different departments. For example, let's say sales and distribution department go out, talk to the customers, get the customer orders and all of that. So they would say, okay, in couple of years, these are the customers might buy this much amount of finished goods. So they would come back with all the data, and this database been passed to the production planning department. Now this production planning department would go back and check, oh, do I have this finished goods in my inventory? No, I'm not having that. Or yes, I'm having. So when can I deliver? So they will work on all these things. If the goods are not there in their inventory, they would go to the purchasing department. And in the purchasing department, they would start procuring raw materials and what is necessary and all of that. Now this raw materials, once we procured, we stored in our inventory, and once we store in our inventory, it is necessary for a quality check, and if it is sent with the manufacturing, it requires a plant maintenance and all of that. So once the finished good is ready, then again sent to the distribution centers, and that's how it reaches the customers. So it is like the basic diagram which represents the roadmap of what actually happens in an organization. And to be very precise, like I said, in ERP, SAP ERP, each business function has a different module. Like sales and distribution has SD module, and production planning has PP module, and there is MM module for purchasing related activities, and for quality control there is QM module. So like that, we have different modules for different functional areas. So these are like the different modules that I'm talking about, like FI, controlling, then we have production planning, then we have project systems, then we have sales distribution, MM, etc, etc. So these are like the different modules. If you are an SAP consultant, and in my experience, you can just be part of one or two modules. It is not easy to learn at least one module completely, so it takes a lifetime effort, I would say. So next and the final topic is order to pay cycle. So I would just give a brief intro about how orders are placed and invoices are received and all of that. So, like I said, we would determine the requirements based on the customer orders. That is the step one. Here, once we determine the requirements, the internal department will raise something called purchase requisition. So it is like an internal document which happens within the organization, and somebody would post a request to their manager stating that, hi, I need this product for this person, for this or this customer on this date. Now here there is step two, okay, called source determination. I can have, or I can pass the purchase requisition to the supplier I have known, or I might choose a supplier who is not part of my current supplier list with whom I'm doing a transaction. So in that case, I should go for a supplier determination, then I should select my vendor and all of that. Once I have done all of these things, which will go for I have my purchase requisition, I have my source, which is a vendor, then it would go to the approval, like my manager has to approve my request and it's get converted to the purchase order processing and all of that. Then will order follow, then the purchase orders has been sent to the supplier would send the goods along with the invoice. Now I would prepare a goods receipt based on the orders I have received. Like there can be some faulty goods I want to return. So I will have a note of, these are the goods I have received and these are the goods I want to return and all of that. So now I will start checking my invoice with the purchase order, with the goods receipt, and I would finalize the payment which has to be made to the vendor. So this is like the basic process. There are so many changes that you can see, but I would say, this is more than enough for you to understand what is a typical order to pay cycle in an organization. So that's it. Thank you.